Hello everyone, welcome to IITN's GATE classes. So IITN's GATE classes is starting our batch number first for GATE 2023 from 20th February. So if you people are interested, you can mail us or you can even visit the website for more details. So some of the special features of the class is that we have a live interactive classes taken by GATE toppers. So study materials and assignments, it will be given to you on every weekly basis, and there will be also online test on Sundays. So it is actually a interactive as well as conceptual learning program. So 100% syllabus we cover on time, and there are numerous doubt sessions and post GATE guidance from your GATE toppers. And there is even attractive scholarship for GATE qualified as well as meritorious students from college. Okay, so if you are interested, you can kindly mail us on the mail ID given over here. So in today's session, we are going to see basically block diagram and signal flow graph. So this is kind of your actually a demo session or a demo lecture that how actually live classes are conducted at our own platform. Okay then, so let us then begin today's session. So you can see the topic that I have taken for control system is block diagram and signal flow graph. So this is a very simple topic to see. Okay, so here you can see what first is block diagram. So by block diagram, what do we mean? So first, basically, if we take a system, a control system, so what we do, we usually define it pictorially. Okay, pictorially we define a system. Like a very simple system is a negative feedback system. Okay, so we define it something like this. So this is one of the simplest system, negative unity feedback system. Okay. So now this is actually the simplest block diagram also you can see. So this will be input Laplace transform, this will be output Laplace transform. Okay. So now if I want to determine the transfer function, so what we do? We basically take help of your block diagram reduction technique to solve such kind of pictorial representation of the system. Okay, so whenever we draw blocks and represent a system, like over here, this is your controller, this is your feedback path. Okay, so such kind of pictorial representation is known as what? It is known as your block diagram representation. So now let us learn few of the simplest block diagram reduction rules. Okay, so first is representation of closed loop. So if closed loop is represented, then how do we reduce it? We know as this is your negative feedback system. So Cs by Rs, this is equal to what? G of S divided by 1 plus Gs into Hs. That means what? I can reduce this complete system into a single block, something like this. So this is Rs, this is Cs. So this will be what? Gs by 1 plus Gs into Hs. So I can replace this whole diagram or this whole system by a single block which is having transfer function something like this. So this basically implies what? That this is a negative feedback system. Okay. Now similarly, this is what? This is positive feedback. So I can represent it like Cs by Rs is equal to G of S divided by 1 minus G of S into H of S. Similarly, for your negative unity feedback, this H of S, it will be what? It will be 1. So this will have what? This will be 1. So we can simply replace H of S by 1 over here and we can solve the system. Okay. Now when blocks are connected in series, like over here, you can see series, or even you can call it as when blocks are connected in cascade. Okay. So basically in transform domain or Laplace domain, we basically multiply the blocks when they are connected in series or in cascade. So simply I can replace this block by an equivalent block having transfer function g1s and g2s. So sorry, I didn't write s in parenthesis over here, so it's okay. Let me skip it all together then. So this is R and this is C. So I can replace this whole block by a block something like this. Now when blocks are connected in parallel, at that time simply you need to add. Okay, simply the blocks they get added. So you can see over here it is plus minus, here also it is plus minus. So what I can do, I can simply replace this by a block, a single block. So whenever block are connected in parallel, so you need to add them respectively according to their signs. Okay, so this will be plus minus g1 plus g2. I have taken plus minus common over here. So this will be R, this will be C. Suppose over here, if this is minus and this is plus, then what you can do? Simply you can see that this block is minus, this is plus. So this will be G2 minus G1. Okay, simple algebraic addition or subtraction. Now next is very important. Most of the students, they usually get confused what to do if a takeoff point, okay, this is known as takeoff point or equipotential point also. Okay, whatever you want to say, you can say. So this is your takeoff point. So students usually get confused when a takeoff point goes beyond the block, goes behind the block, or a takeoff point that comes before a block. Okay, that comes before a block. So these two things are usually a little bit tricky, but it's okay. We will see over here. So your main aim whenever you shift a takeoff point or a adder point is to do what? Is to keep the output of the takeoff point the same. Okay, so here what I wish to take this shifting, means this takeoff point behind this block. Okay, so I want to take it. So what is the output of this block? You can see it is C, or I can write it as R into G, because this is R into G. Okay, now if I want to take this shifting point or takeoff point behind this block, okay, so now I want to bring it over here. Now look very carefully. When I do this, output is no more RG. Now C is equal to R, but I need this same output. See, whenever you shift, you need to keep the output of your takeoff point undisturbed. So what are you going to do? You are simply going to put a block over here that has gain G, okay, that has gain G, so that the output of this takeoff point is same as before, you can see. So that is why in textbook you always see that whenever you take takeoff point behind the block, you simply multiply with the gain of the block in that path of the takeoff point. So simply that's what I have done. But the actual maths behind it is this, that you need to maintain the output of your shifting point or your takeoff point same as before and after shifting. Okay. So you can see simply what you need to do. Whenever you want to take a takeoff point behind the block, simply multiply with the gain of the block behind which you are taking the shifting point. Okay. Now the next is what? That you need to take a shifting point in front of a block. So it's okay. Look here. Output is what of this takeoff point? It is R. Now if I take it in front of this block, so what will happen? So if I take this point in front of the block, now you can see that output of this takeoff point, it is not R, it is now R into G. Previously it was R, now it is R into G. So what I should do, I should be adding a block over here such that its gain is what? Its gain is 1 by G. Now what I will get? Now I will be simply getting, you can see, R. Okay, because this is what? This is R into G over here. Okay, R into G. So when this passes from this block, it is simply R. So that is why in textbook you might have seen that whenever you shift a takeoff point in front of the block or you take it ahead of a block, you simply multiply with the inverse of the gain of the block in front of which you are taking the takeoff point. Okay. Now one more concept is what? That if you take this adder or the summer in behind this block, so how are you going to do? So look very carefully, this is a little bit tricky one. So first you need to do what? You need to maintain all the outputs of the point same. Okay. So what is the output over here? So that is G2 into R2 plus R1 G1. You can see that this is what? This is R1 G1 from here R2. So this will be R1 G1 plus R2 and this block it will be getting multiplied. Now what I want to do? I want to shift this adder behind this block G1. So look very carefully what I do. So I need to maintain this output same. Okay, I need to maintain it same. So look very carefully now. So let me erase all this part. So this block I need to take it behind. So this is R2 now. Or simply what we could have done, this looks a little bit kind of not good. So this is R1 and this over here is R2. Now it looks good. Okay, now this look good. Okay, so now you can see what? That basically this is R1 plus R2. Over here, this two block, I can simply replace it with a single block, or it's okay. You can even write this as G1 into R1 plus R2. And over here, now this output is what? This is your G1, G2 into R1 plus R2. Previously what it was? Previously you can see this is G2 R2 plus R1 G1 G2. So there is a missing term over here, okay, which is coming over here. You can see with R2 there is G1 present. So what I need to do over here, I need to remove this G1 from R1. So what I can do? So now you can see what? That I am getting this term. Whereas over here with G2 means, sorry, with R2 there is no G1 present. Okay, with R2 there is no G1 present. So now what I am going to do, basically here when I have taken this block behind, so simply what I am going to do, look very carefully, I am going to add one block over here. This shouldn't be R2. So R2, I should be passing R2 through a block 1 by G1. Okay, 1 by G1. Now if you see, this will be what? R1 plus R2 by, sorry, R2 by G1. Over here this will be what? This will be G1 into R1 plus R2 by G1, and over here this will be G1 G2 into R1 plus R2 by G1, which is the same as before. Okay, same as before. So whatever I have done, I haven't disturbed the output. So like this, basically you shift an adder before and after block. Okay, so this was before. So whenever you take an adder before a block, you simply do what? In the path to which your input is given, you introduce one gain, which is actually the inverse of the block behind which you have taken the adder. Okay. Now similarly, if I want to take this adder ahead of this block, so this is also very simple. What I want you people to do is to attempt this yourself. So this block has to move ahead of this, sorry, this adder has to move ahead of this block. Okay, so how do we do? So look over here, what is the output? First determine that. Okay, so here you can see that is R1 G1, over here it is R2 plus R1 G1, and here it will be what? G2 into R2 plus R1 G1. Okay, so now simply if I want to take this block ahead, so let me join this. If I take the adder over here, now this will be C and this is R2. Okay, this is R2, this is R1. So this will be what? This will be G1 G2 into R1, and this is what? R2 plus G1 G2 R1. So here you can see there is a G2 along with R2 also, but there is nothing over here. So what we do? We simply multiply or add a block in this path which has gain what? Which has gain G2, and this is R2. Now it will be G2 R2. So we are getting the same previous thing what we got before. Okay, so this is actually, these are all your simple block reduction techniques. With the help of these techniques, usually what we do, we simplify a structure to get the transfer function. Okay, so now we have few questions over here. So the first question you can see, it is asked in GATE 2004. Okay, so for the block diagram shown in the figure, the transfer function Cs by Rs is equal to. So you need to find what is Cs by Rs. So for finding Cs by Rs, simply how am I going to find it? Look. So this block you can see. So let me just copy paste the diagram over here. So look, this is Rs. So Rs is coming from here in this path also. So over here, this output will be what? It will be 1 by S into Rs. Over here, you can see Rs is getting added. So this will be R of S plus R of S divided by S. Over here, 1 by S will be multiplied with this one. So 1 by S, this is the output. 1 by S into RS plus RS by S. Okay, so let me write it down below a little bit. And over here the CS is equal to what? CS is equal to, you can see one RS is being added over here. So RS getting added plus this part. So this is what? RS by S square plus RS by S. Okay. So CS by RS is equal to, let me take LCM. So S square common. So this will be S square plus S plus 1. So which option do we see over here is correct? Option B is correct. Okay. So that will be what? That will be your S square plus S plus 1 divided by S square. Okay. So in the next question, it is given for the system shown in the figure ys by xs. So what is ys by xs? So again we are going to do the same thing that we have done before. So what are we going to do? Simply look over here. Observe the block diagram. Okay. So this is xs. Even over here, this is what? This is xs is coming over here, and this is what? GS is what? It is 2. So first determine this path. So this is what? Oh, from here xs is coming and from here ys is coming, but it is minus. So this will be x minus y. Okay, x minus y from over here. So that will be g into x minus y, and over from here again. So this will be what? Ys is equal to, this is getting added one of the parts. So this is xs plus this part. So that is what? G of s into x of s minus y of s. So if we solve this, so this will be what? So ys, and this part I am bringing over here. So that will be ys into gs is equal to g of s into xs. So ys by xs is equal to g divided by 1 plus g. So g over here is 2. So this is 2 by 3. So your answer is what? 0.67. Okay. Answer to this question is what? It is 2 by 3. That is 0.67. Very simple. So the next topic that we have over here is what? Simply signal flow graph. Okay. So graphical representation of block diagram system, it is very easy to see actually. Okay. But it is little bit complex to solve. See, whatever questions we have solved, these are very, very simple questions. Okay. But sometimes if for a very big system, solving using the block diagram approach, it is little bit difficult. So what we do, we employ basically signal flow graph, which is actually a simple approach to your block diagram. Okay. So SFG, it is used to calculate the transfer function between two nodes. Okay. Now what is this nodes? We are going to see one by one. So in SFG, basically we employ the Mason gain formula. So Mason gain formula is used over here to calculate the transfer function. Okay. So let us see how do we use Mason gain formula. So Mason gain formula, it is given by Ts is equal to K equal to 1 to n Pk divided by del K by del. Okay. Where this n is number of forward paths. Okay, n is number of forward path. K is your kth forward path. Okay, this del K, it is the associated path factor. Okay, so one by one we are going to see, just note it down. And del is what? Del is your determinant. Yeah, okay. So one by one we are going to see what these all terms they mean actually. Okay. So let us see using this example that how we formulate your signal flow graph from your your SFG from your block diagram. Okay. So first what we need to do, so this RS, this is your input and this CS, it is your output. So this input is known as what? This is known as your source node and this is your sink node. Okay, sink node. Then always whenever there is an adder, we consider it as one of the nodes, and the takeoff points also we consider as one node. So there are in total 1, 2, 3 and 4 nodes over here. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now look, if this is first node, this is second node, this is third and this is fourth. Always mark the node positions using circle so that it doesn't create confusion. Okay. So now in between 1 and 2 there is nothing. So that means this is actually 1. In between 2 and 3 you can see there is GS. In between 3 and 4 there is nothing. So by default it is 1. In between 3 and 2 there is a feedback path. So what is the gain of this feedback path? It is minus h of s. Remember, always see this sign and accordingly put it over here. So minus h of s. Now let us see the Mason gain formula. That is what? Pk into del k divided by del, where k tends from 1 to n. So in this question, how many forward path do we see? So forward path, there is only one, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Okay. So forward path gain P1, let me write. So what is the gain? So it is G of S. Now let us see what is the associated path factor. Okay. But before that, I want you to see what are the loops present over here. So loop are the closed path. Okay. So one of the loop gain I can see is this loop 2 to 3, 3 to 2 once again. So what is the loop gain? That is minus GS into HS. Now let us see this associated path factor, because we have completed all the forward path and all the loop gains we have seen. So now associated path factor is basically what? For this P1, remove this P1 completely. Okay. Make sure to remove the node positions also. Now when you remove this, how many loops are left? How many loops can you see are left over here? There is no loops remaining. So associated path factor is actually 1 minus all the loop that remains. So I will write it below. Associated path factor is 1 minus all the loops that remains after removing the path. Okay, after removing the kth forward path. So we can see there are no loops that are left. So that will be del 1, 1 minus 0. So associated path factor is what? It is your 1. Okay, associated path factor del 1 is 1 minus all the loop gains. So none of the loops are remaining. So loop gain is 0. So that means this del 1 is equal to 1 in this particular case. Okay. So now what is this determinant? So determinant is equal to 1 minus all the individual loop gain plus product of two non-touching loops minus product of three non-touching loops. Okay, non-touching loops. Now what are these non-touching loops? Non-touching loops are those loops which don't have even a single common node. Okay, so here this is what? This is your product of two non-touching loop minus product of three non-touching loop plus product of four non-touching loop. But max to max in exam there will be up to this point only product of three non-touching loop. So if I want to calculate delta, so that will be what? Delta is equal to 1 minus individual loop gain. So that is 1 minus of minus GS into HS. So this will be 1 plus GS into HS. So now if I put everything in the formula, so PK is what? PK is GS. So let me write it over here, GS. Corresponding associated path factor is 1 divided by, only one forward path is there, so that is why P1 del 1 divided by delta. So delta is what? 1 minus individual loop gain plus product of two non-touching loop. That for this particular case is what? 1 plus GS into HS. So you can see we got the formula for transfer function for your negative feedback system. Okay, so this is how actually we solve for SFG. So this was a very basic thing that I have actually told you people. So now let us jump to few questions. Okay, so this question, if you are able to solve, you will be able to understand all the concepts of SFG. So look here very carefully what it is given. The signal flow graph of a system is shown in the below figure. The transfer function CS by RS of the system is. So you need to calculate what will be CS by RS over here. So first thing first, let me just copy paste this diagram. Let me mark all the node positions over here. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this one is 6. Now why I always circle the nodes? So that I don't confuse it with the path gains. Okay, so you can see over here. Now if you see forward path, so forward path is what? Forward path is the path from your source node to sink node. Okay, source node to sink node without any repetition of node. Okay, so now look very carefully, tell me what is the forward path. So let me assume this is P1. P1 you can see is the path from 1 to 2, 2 to 6. Okay, 1 to 2, 2 to 6. Now don't say, sir, why can't it be 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, then 4 to 5, then again from 5 to 4, okay, or 5 to 3, 3 to 2, and then to 1, then to 6. You can see in this path, okay, you are repeating the nodes like this third node and this second node. Okay, so repetition in the forward path, it is not possible. Okay, so now the forward path is what? From 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 6. What is the path gain? The path gain is your 1. Okay, path gain is 1. Now, very important thing are your calculation of loops. Okay, loop gain. So L1 you can see it is 2 to 3, 3 to 2. So 2 to 3 and 3 to 2. So what is the loop gain? It is minus 2 by S. Now L2 if you want to see. So L2 is from 4 to 5, 5 to 4. So that is what? 4 to 5 and again from 5 to 4. So that is minus 3 by S. Now what is L3? L3 you can see it is this loop from 3 to 4, 4 to 5 and again from 5 to 3. So 3 to 4, 4 to 5 and again from 5 to 3. So what is the loop gain? So that is, you can see 6 by s minus 4. So that is minus 24 by s. Any other loops that you are able to see over here? So we have none other loops over here. Now associated path factor. Okay, so del 1, very important. Okay, so see, 1 minus all the loop gains after removing the forward path. So if you remove the forward path, so see here, this is your forward path. So make sure to remove this node also. So if you remove this node, this 2, 3, 2, it is no more a loop because this node has been removed. So 1 minus all the loop gains that remain after removing the kth forward path. So this loop is no more a loop over here because this node 2 is removed, and for this loop to be a loop, you require this node 2. Okay, so this is no more a loop. So 1 minus this loop is remaining 3, 4, 5 and again 3. So that is what? Minus 24 by s. And this 4, 5, 4 is also remaining. So that is minus 3 by s. So this is what? This is your 1 plus 27 by s is your associated path factor for this corresponding path 1. Okay. Now we need to calculate what? We need to calculate the determinant. So determinant is 1 minus all the individual loop gain. So just simply add this over here. So what do you get? So this will be so 24, 27 and this will be 29. So completely I have done in a single step. Okay. So minus 29 by s plus product of two non-touching loops. So you can see this 2, 3, 2 and this 4, 5, 4. It is actually what? Non-touching loops. So you need to multiply this two and add. So that is what? 6 by s square. So we have everything that we require for Mason gain formula. So P1 del 1 divided by delta. So P1 is what? P1 is 1 into delta is what? 1 plus 27 by s divided by delta, you can see that is 1 plus 29 by s plus 6 by s square. So if you multiply with s square in the numerator and denominator, so that will be what? S plus 27 divided by s square plus 29s plus 6. So which option do we see? Option D is your answer to this question. Okay, option D is your answer to this question. So this was a very good question for understanding all the concept related to your associated path factor in SFG. Okay. Now this question, this was asked in 2006. Very good question. So what is asked over here? The signal flow graph representation of a control system is shown below. The transfer function Ys by Rs is computed as. Okay. So you need to calculate what is Ys by Rs. So once again I am going to copy paste this diagram. So let me mark the node 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the forward path, so there is only one forward path from 1 to 6, that is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is the gain? Path gain. So you can see this is 1 by s, 1 by s, 1 by s. So 1 by s into 1 by s into 1 by s. So that is 1 by s cube. Any other path from your source node to sink node? Yes, there is one more path which is from 1 to 2, 2 to 5 and then from 5 to 6. What is the path gain? That is your 1 by s, you can see over here. Okay, so P2 is 1 by s. Now let us see what are the loops present over here. Okay, loops. So L1 you can see from 2 to 3, from 3 to 4 and again to 2. So that is 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and again from 4 to 2. So the loop gain is minus 1 by s square. Loop 2. So loop 2 is from 3 to 4, 4 to 5 and again to 3. So again 3 to 4, 4 to 5 and again from 5 to 3. So this loop gain is also minus 1 by s square. Any other loops that you are able to see? So look very carefully, there is one more loop over here. Okay, you need to see it very carefully. So look, from 3 to 4, okay, 3 to 4, then again from 4 to 2, okay, 4 to 2, then from 2 to 5 and again from 5 to 3. None of the nodes are coinciding when you describe this path. Okay, when you walk on this path, none of the nodes are repeated twice. Okay, you start from 3, so from 3 to 4, from 4 to 2, from 2 to 5 and again from 5 back to 3. Okay, so this loop is L3. So what is the loop gain? So that is 1 by s, minus 1 by s, 1 by s and minus 1 by s. So this is 1 by s square. Okay, 1 by s square. Okay, so now let us see the associated path factors. So if you remove this path, this forward path, okay, none of the loops are going to remain. So this will be 1. Now if you remove this path, still there will be no loops left. So again this is 1. Okay, so this is 1, 1. Now we need to simply put it in your Mason gain formula. Okay, Mason gain formula we need to put. So that will be what? P1 del 1 plus P2 del 2 divided by delta. So P1 is what? P1 you can see 1 by s cube into delta 1 is what? 1 plus P2 over here you can see it is 1 by s into delta 2 is again 1 divided by del. So that will be 1 minus individual loop gain. So over here you can see that is what? Minus 1 by s square minus 1 by s square plus 1 by s square. Okay, and there is no non-touching loop over here. All the loops are touching because they have somewhere or the other one of the nodes common. You can see it yourself. Okay, so this will be 0. So 1 of the s square gets cancelled. So from here I can take 1 by s common. So this will be what? This will be 1 plus 1 by s square. And from here this is what? 1 plus 1 by, sorry, so this is also s square over here. Okay, so I made a mistake. So 1 by s square. So 1 by s square cancels and your answer is what? It is 1 by s. Okay, so 1 by s is the correct answer to this question. So with this we end this demo session. If you liked the lecture, please press the thumbs up button along with sharing the video with your friends and subscribing to our channel. See you in the next session. Thank you.